Thank you for joining on this weekly Sunday sunset chat. We are talking about snow potentially starting late tonight, mainly impacting tomorrow morning in a quick fashion potentially. So we are flagging that travel might be difficult tomorrow morning, particularly between 5 and 11 a.m. For the latest, please go to CWG.news/snow. We have an expert, very detailed write-up for you there on the blog on capitalweathergang.com. Here is our accumulation map on top and a link here for a synopsis of what we're expecting for tomorrow. This is a tricky storm. We are on the edge, the northern edge of this storm. Amounts could vary in a very small corridor. The potential impact for a heavy snow band right now setting up just south of the city, but that could easily, uncertainly, move north if we just need to watch it. If any small track changes could impact the accumulation forecast. So we are trying to give you boom and bust scenarios that I want you to pay attention to. So make sure you see how this could set up, and we'll talk about all the details. I'll take all your questions. Good evening, Paul. Good evening, Jennifer from Ashburn. Marianne, hello. Kevin, hello. Peter, hello. Sinjay, Eastern Shore is also going to be impacted. Yes, indeed. Penny, hello. And Lewis, hello. This indeed has come together over the last couple of days. And Dawn, you're looking at our forecast map for accumulations in the region. Fairfax is included in our band. Generally 2 to 6 inches is what we are predicting in the DC region. All the details, which I will try to break down for you, but it's a great write-up at CWG.news/snow. Touch on my face, popping up below on your mobile device or above on your desktop or laptop. You will see the links to our latest there on the blog. So thanks for joining me on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook. We're simulcasting to all three tonight, as usual, on our Sunday Sunset Chats. I'm Camden Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com here in the pink. We are in a winter storm warning. Significant snowfall is likely, accumulating snowfall. The purple northwest of town is a winter weather advisory for less snowfall projected there, and a winter storm watch is still in effect south and east of town. So we are going to dive right in here. Here is the storm timeline. It is going to evolve late tonight after midnight to 4 a.m. It could start as rain to sleet, and here's the timeline to expect on this part of our blog update on capitalweathergang.com. Chris, a blizzard is not necessarily expected, but snowfall rates briefly over an inch an hour are possible tomorrow morning, so we are flagging that we have difficult travel conditions are possible tomorrow morning. Hello Greg, hello Cheryl, wants snow in Rockville. Liza, yes indeed, Upper Marlboro, 2 to 6 inches is possible. And Mike, not getting out the goggles just yet. And Tevin, yes, this will be over by Tuesday. Adriana, hello. And Thomas, indeed, we have the ability in DC to go from warm to snow with under 24 hours. So this is not completely unusual, but it is something we're trying to flag because it is happening in quick succession tonight as temperatures go down. Keith, we're not doing an official FedCast or Schoolcast, but stay tuned to CapitalWeatherGang.com. And Lewis, I want to highlight later, we are doing a 9 p.m. discussion on Facebook, an expert live chat we'll talk about in a moment. And Bobby, Nick, Diana, Jessica, thank you so much for tuning in. And here is another way of looking at a graphical representation of the onset time. Again, generally after midnight into 4 a.m., it starts transitioning from rain to sleet to snow. We are flagging tomorrow morning, 5 to 11 a.m. could be difficult for travel around the region, as the heaviest snowfall rates could occur within that time. Over 1 inch per hour can be expected, but we have much more to discuss on the impacts in the region generally. 3 on our scale of 5. It is a moderate significant impact, and you can see that matches the orange level here on the National Weather Services map. So especially around town, south and east of town, that's where this storm is focusing as it looks now. We will keep you posted tonight and tomorrow morning, since the track could still shift a little bit. The narrow corridor of heaviest snowfall currently, and stay tuned, but currently expected to occur just south of town, but we are expecting around DC to get a good thumping of snow with snowfall rates over an inch per hour at times. So a 3 out of 5 on our storm impact scale, or winter storm impact scale. So please keep that in mind, especially around town or south and east of town. Those are the main regions here in the orange on this National Weather Service graphic that could see the most impacts from this storm. And we've got lots for watching at the surface and above. So at the upper levels, this piece of energy is moving with the jet stream, sliding very quickly, and it could track slightly differently, 10 to 20 miles. We need to watch it. It is giving us on the northern edge of its energy system. We're getting a nice snowfall band over the city, but that could change if there are any small storm shifts in the track, which we are watching tonight here at the surface. I know some of you are in disbelief. We're watching surface temperatures plummet potentially 30 degrees tonight. So it's hard to think about. And I want you to realize that it's some cognitive dissonance that we need to get over, that it's going to snow tomorrow. Despite being in the 60s today, we're going to have lower 30s tomorrow, around the freezing mark of 32 degrees. If the precipitation is not heavy enough to keep up with the warm ground that is there, we are going to see less snowfall. So the key is getting heavy precipitation, dropping temperatures, and it will be a slushy accumulation. Might not initially stick to the roads, but we are concerned between 5 and 11 a.m. that we could see some heavier snowfall overcome the warmer temperatures at the surface. So high end amount on top, low end amount on bottom. We are generally expecting 2 to 6 inches in the region. So keep that in mind, that our map is trying to be a little more conservative than the National Weather Service, but not meaningfully. We are thinking that we are on the edge of the heaviest snowfall around the city, and it will maybe stay south and east as it appears now. And we're also thinking that the warm ground conditions could eat at maybe an inch of snowfall that the National Weather Service is thinking might stick. So 2 to 6 inches generally around the city. Make sure you pay attention to our boom and bust scenarios on the blog on capitalweathergang.com. I'm Camden Walker. Thank you for joining for our Sunday Sunset Chat. The high end and low end amounts only have a 10% chance of happening. So again, 10% chance of 1 to 2 inches. 10% chance of maybe 10 or more inches. So we are on the edge of the storm. It is a tricky position to be in. So keep that in mind. That is the context for what we're bringing together into our forecast here at capitalweathergang.com. It is a little bit more conservative, but not meaningfully from the National Weather Service forecast. But it is worth noting that we could see, anywhere between 1 to 10 inches, but right now we're focused generally on 2 to 6 inches, and we're going to keep you posted as we get in later this evening. We're going to watch the new weather models come in. So please keep that in mind. We'll have a 9 p.m. tonight experts chat. Jason, Jeffrey, and Wes are all going to get together here on one of our services on Facebook. You're seeing me right now on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, but they will be on Facebook tonight. They have a good setup there. So make sure you go to CWG.news/Facebook tonight at 9 o'clock for more expert discussion as the weather models come in, because there is still a range. There are different opinions among the main global weather models on just how much we're going to see. We're trying to parse this information. We're trying to watch the trend of the trends. We're trying to see what the weather models are thinking. And here's what you can find at CWG.news/snow. And part of our expert discussion is breaking down the weather models for you. There is a wide range. Snow is likely tomorrow. The amount is still up for grabs, but generally we are thinking 2 to 6 inches right now. Nathan, cars could get dirty and wait for the car wash. Singjay, you're welcome. Thank you. Daniel, it has developed fairly quickly over the last 48 hours. Doreen, you're welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Gavin, I appreciate you trying to tune into capitalweathergang.com. Let us know if you have any questions. And Drew, I appreciate you keeping in touch as well. And Tim, if you can avoid driving between 5 and 11 a.m. tomorrow, that is the time we are most concerned about. So let's go over the storm time frame. We think 5 to 11 a.m. the storm system really does get going tomorrow morning. After initially rain, sleet between midnight and 4 a.m. is how it starts. The changeover occurs going into the pre-dawn hours. Accumulation could pile up fairly quickly from 5 to 11 a.m. Even slushy roads could turn a little bit snowy despite the warm ground conditions. We do have the ability for the atmosphere to produce 1 inch or more per hour of snow that is heavy enough, potentially at a snowfall rate, to overcome the warm surface temperatures that we see on the ground. So please keep that in mind. If you can avoid travel from 5 to 11 a.m. tomorrow, please reschedule as best possible. So Teray, you should be better by 11 p.m. tomorrow night. Alex, we're watching schools but not producing a formal school cast for tomorrow. And Alexandria Elaine is indeed in our 2 to 6 inch band on our map here, and make sure you're paying attention to our boom and bust scenarios on our map here. And for more details, I'm going over all the graphics that I can from CWG.news/snow. This is live. We're keeping you generally live, very much updated by Jeff, Wes, and Jason. So go there for the link. I want you to have all the latest details. It's a very long, good, detailed write-up on how we are on the edge of the heavy snowfall. The storm could shift. We could see very small corridors with big shifts in accumulation. We are generally happy with our 2 to 6 inches right now, but we're going to watch more and have a Facebook Live just on Facebook tonight at 9 p.m., which I'll update you about that in a second. But our experts are watching this around the clock for you, so please keep that in mind. We're in a winter storm watch south and east of town. Pink is where we're seeing around town the winter storm warning, and purple is indicating a winter storm watch. A winter weather advisory north and west of town. So thanks for tuning in. I'm Camden Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. We have a lot to tell you, and for the next 10 minutes, please let me know if I can answer anything that I'm not being clear about. Appreciate you too, Carl and Paula. Hello from Salisbury. And Carrie, thanks for tuning in. Diana, you have a little bit potentially for Pennsylvania, but you're right on the edge, and that's why the winter weather advisory, it goes up toward the Mason-Dixon line there on the border of Pennsylvania and Maryland. Snow indeed, Barbara, it is here. We're talking about just how much. It has to be heavy enough precipitation tomorrow to overcome these warm ground temperatures, but we have seen this before in DC, where a 30-degree shift happens very quickly as we're expecting overnight. We're going from the 60s to the 30s, and we should see the freezing mark tomorrow as the heaviest precipitation moves in between 5 and 11 a.m. Onset time might be between midnight and 4 a.m. generally. Rain may turn to sleet, then we turn over to snow. We're much better tomorrow afternoon, so please keep that in mind and reschedule what you can between 5 and 11 a.m. tomorrow, when we could see 1 inch per hour snowfall rates in that 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. time frame tomorrow morning. 3 out of 5 on our winter storm impact scale. The orange areas are agreeing with that from the National Weather Service. That's where we think, graphically speaking, we see a 3 out of 5 on the winter storm impact scale. Yep, we are thinking the scenario is generally 80% chance, Erica, of significant snowfall, 2 to 6 inches. For tomorrow, we're watching at the surface. The temperatures are rapidly plummeting. We need some, because of the warm ground though, we need the surface temperatures to be overcome by some of the heavier precipitation that is going to be produced by this mid to upper level energy that's spinning through here. That energy could slip a little more to our south, dragging south with it the heavier snowfall potential. Should it move just 10, 20 degrees further north and west toward our region, then the Beltway sees the heaviest band of snow tomorrow. That is what we're dealing with. It's never a good place to be on the edge of a storm system. We have a 10% chance of low wind amounts, graphically represented here by the National Weather Service, 10% chance of 1 to 2 inches, a 10% chance of maybe 10 plus inches, 10, 11 inches in some of the region. Again, you can see the trend. Because the storm is generally tracking towards south and east, the heavier snowfall potential and accumulation potential is staying south and east of town. Even in this the low end scenario, 1 to 2 inches, you can see it still favors south and east of town. So I'm just trying to get that in your head. That's what we are watching. The spread in the weather models, the different data they are spitting out, so we are watching. We're trying to come to more of a consensus forecast. We're watching our experts. Wes, Jeffrey, Jason will be on Facebook at 9 p.m. tonight as the latest weather models come out. They will be able to interpret this for you as they come in. So we'll give you an update then. We'll watch the trend of the trend for you, and it'll be great. But only on Facebook. Go to CWG.news/Facebook tonight at 9 p.m. And I'm on the air for another 7 minutes, hopefully answering your questions ahead of that expert chat. We have more for you at CWG.news/snow. I'm Camden Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com. Our forecast map is out. Our great discussion. It's long and detailed. You will love it. So make sure you check that out on CapitalWeatherGang.com. This has developed quickly over the last 48 hours. We appreciate you staying tuned with us. We keep updating you with the newest, best information, similar to the fields of economics and medicine. When we have better data and a better idea of what's happening, we need to more use the better way of focusing the information into a good forecast. We have done that for you, and 2 to 6 inches might be not meaningfully, but a little bit more conservative than the National Weather Service is calling for. We believe a little bit more will melt than the National Weather Service because of our warm ground, so we are taking that into account. But between 5 and 11 a.m. tomorrow morning, we do think travel could be tricky. Heaviest snowfall rates of 1 inch per hour are possible, or more. Greater snowfall rates than that are possible between 5 and 11 a.m. tomorrow. So storm onset time between midnight and 4 a.m. Rain is kind of turning to sleet. Then some snow develops in the pre-dawn hours, getting tricky and slushy and maybe snowy, especially around town and points south and east tomorrow morning. So please reschedule 5 to 11 a.m. if you can. If you are risk averse and not used to driving in snow, it could be a very quick hitting storm system tomorrow morning. So wet, sloppy snow, Joshua, yes, indeed. Always higher snow totals. People don't talk about, David. I do want to show you those the goalposts of what we're thinking. Again, our forecast here has boom and bust scenarios, and we think that we assign confidence for you. We're not high confidence in this kind of forecast. We're on the edge of the storm, and small storm track changes could mean significant changes and moving around these map markers for you. So we're generally thinking around town and points south and east have the best chance of accumulating snowfall, lighter north and west of town. But again, we are watching for changes. 9 p.m. tonight is our Facebook Live expert chat. So make sure you tune in to CWG.news/Facebook at 9 p.m. tonight. Our experts, Jeffrey, Jason, and Wes, will be watching the weather models for you as they roll in. So we'll see if we need to update our forecast. But so far, we are happy. Despite all the information being disparate spread among the weather models, we are happy with our 2 to 6 inch forecast map. But yes, there is, generally speaking, a 10% chance of this low wind amount, which is 1 to 2 inches around town. Look at that again, favoring south and east of town with the storm track. And even the high end amount, 10% chance of happening, 10 plus inches of snow, that has about a 10% chance of occurring. That's kind of the overall wide goalposts that we're working within the confines of. So keep that in mind. These are unlikely, but they are there as 10% chance. A high end amount on the top and a low end amount right here on the bottom. But we like our 2 to 6 inches as it stands now. Again, make sure you're paying attention to the boom and bust scenarios and our confidence that we have ascribed to each of the band striations here on our map. And make sure you also check out CWG.news/snow for the latest. We have a great write-up there for you on the blog on capitalweathergang.com. All right, I want to clear this out for you, and we are going to make sure you realize here on YouTube, on Twitter, and Facebook, I'm simulcasting to you. I'm Camden Walker for capitalweathergang.com in the pink. In the main core area of the metro area, we're in a winter storm warning. Purple indicates northwest of town a winter weather advisory for lighter accumulations expected. And still south and east of town, it's a little less clear about precipitation type, so it's still a winter storm watch. So stay tuned in those locations. There's a little less confidence there, but there should be, we expect some impacts from this storm, and the impacts are generally in the middle part of our range, a 3 out of our 5 scale of winter storm impacts. Significant impacts are expected. So please, 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. tomorrow morning, if you can reschedule your plans, please stay off the roads. That is generally speaking when we expect the highest chance for the highest snowfall rates. It could fall over an inch per hour in that time. Despite the warm ground temperatures, that is heavy enough to pile up. Even if it's slushy, it becomes very dangerous very quickly. If you've been in DC long enough, you know as slush piles up on the roads, it becomes very tricky and traffic gets snarled very fast. Misha, hello. I hope that we hear back on schools. We don't have an official school cast, but we are monitoring that. And George, appreciate you tuning in for this live report. And David, thank you for tuning in. Amanda, you're most welcome. Thanks for tuning in from YouTube. Mary, I'm sorry you've had your power out, and I do hope it comes on before the snow. Hello, Maria. Hello, True. Hello, Antoine. And Kimberly, Snowshoe should get some snow out of this, not too much, as we might see in the DC area, but some. And Tyrone, thanks for tuning in. Kimberly, snow there as well. And Yasmin, Loudoun County indeed is thinking currently 2 to 6 inches, just like the DC metro area. So let's go back and make sure we've reviewed that. Here is our accumulation map at capitalweathergang.com, the latest write-up with all the details, really good, long, detailed discussion for you at CWG.news/snow. 2 to 6 inches up here on our accumulation map. The boom and bust scenario is there for you to see the high end and low end potential amounts. Confidence intervals are assigned to each of our striations of accumulation levels on the map as well. This is tricky. We are on the edge of the storm system. We are concerned that small forecast changes for the track, even 10 miles, it could alter where this heavy snow band may set up. Currently, we think that will be just southeast of town, and that's where the heaviest snowfall will occur as it stands now. But please stay tuned. The forecast timeline is there, and we're most concerned about 5 to 11 a.m. We are on the edge of the storm. It is not an easy place to forecast since, again, small track changes for the storm could significantly impact the accumulation around town. But The bottom line is accumulation is expected. Despite these warm temperatures, we are plummeting from the 60s down into the 30s tonight. A very quick change. The ground is cooling very quickly. Atmospheric energy in the mid to upper levels is expected to move through. Will it be closer to town and give us a heavier snow band? We will see. We are watching all of this, and again, the high and low end amounts, 10% chance of maybe 10 plus inches, 10% chance of just 1 to 2 inches. Notice the trend. Southeast of town has the highest favorable zone area for accumulation. That's because the storm track is tracking to our southeast. So we have to monitor this in the coming hours, how the storm track is shaping up. Again, it's tricky with the weather models not exactly making up their mind on how much they want to deliver to the DC area, but we are generally happy with our 2 to 6 inches for the forecast. And we have 9 p.m. the next update, thereabouts around 9 p.m. on CWG.news/Facebook. Wes and Jason and Jeffrey will be there watching as the weather models roll in. I welcome you to tune in. It will be great to see the reactions with the latest data, and we will see if we need to modify our forecast. So I'm signing off for now. I'm Camden Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com. I encourage you to check out CWG.news/snow. Winter storm warning in the area. Significant snow is expected. Where the heaviest snow band sets up is in question, but we do know accumulation is likely. 5 to 11 a.m. is the time of concern tomorrow when 1 inch or more per hour heavy snowfall could accumulate rapidly on the roads despite the warm road conditions going into the storm. It could get slushy and dangerous, so please be careful. Sandra, thanks for tuning in. True and Rob, all right, and I'll check questions after I sign off. Have a safe evening and be careful tomorrow, particularly between 5 a.m. and 11 a.m.